Logical thinking and an open mind is critical and key when watching these videos. We talk about metaphysics on this channel, so in case you didn't know, now you know. Hello everyone, welcome to Sirius Center Temple Spiritual Network. So we're taking care of another video today. And thanks for watching, and the support is nice as well. So, we're dealing with another species today. We're talking about the Carins. Yes, I will repeat again, the Carins. Much is not known about these extraterrestrial beings and interterrestrial beings. Why do I say this? See, these bird-like humanoid entities, a lot of them can actually be found right here on our planet, believe it or not. In the fourth dimensional realm of things, a lot of them actually exist here, believe it or not. When you go into the fourth dimensional realm and leave your body, you can run into these guys. Of course, you see some female, some male, many different types. And a lot of them are located near the stars of Orion. Planetary sectors that are aligned near the stars of Orion. The Carins were depicted in that animation you guys like to talk about called the Thundercats. Yes, the Thundercats. They were depicted in that animation as well because of the fact that they have a relationship with your feline extraterrestrial beings, your Thundercats and your feline extraterrestrial beings. You know, even those cat-like beings that you guys call the Nabi. You know, we'll be talking about them as well. But right now we're dealing with the Carins and their relationship with them and the universe. The Carins, well, of course, you see they look like a bird with a humanoid shape. Of course, they have feathers. They have very strong bodies. You know, a lot of people would think that a bird type being would physically not be as strong, you know, as like maybe a reptilian or something like this. Well, because of the creation process of how they are built, believe it or not, these bird-like beings are very strong. And some of them have actually been caught flying around the moon recently on the internet. Some of them have been caught flying around the moon. Yeah, they have really large wings and stuff like this. The Carins, believe it or not, are an ancient bird-like species as well. A lot of them came down here. A lot of them are, in fact, related to your, other bird-like beings all over the galaxies. As you can see, the Carins come in many different types. You know, you have some that look like an eagle, a bald eagle. You have some that look like, like a mockingbird or, a mockingjay, or you got some that look like an owl. You got some that looks like, like a crow. You got many different types. You have some that look like flamingos. You have some that look like, what is it, an ostrich? You even have some that look like what you guys call, what are those birds that in the desert? I forget the name, And one of y'all probably go in the comment section and tell me or whatever, And, you have some, we're dealing with them, when you, oh yeah, what I was trying to say is, you have some that are like vultures and shit like that. You have, hawks, hummingbird, or many different types that you may have, like a lot of your ones that are like a vulture, those are actually very aggressive. If you actually came into like one of the Carins that's like a vulture, you might have a lot of hard time dealing with them because they're very aggressive. All right, but you have many different types, like and yes, believe it or not, these yes, some of them do eat fish. Some of them do, like your owl types. Some of them do eat rats. Believe it or not. Yeah, I'm serious. Like, but do they have to? Do they have to do these things? It is believed that these type of beings, they can eat other life forms, or they can choose to take sunlight energy and convert it into like a positive energy for their bodies as well. It is believed that the Anunnaki or Anunnaki beings had a hand in their creation process as well. So you're starting to understand that there is a multitude of beings that the Anunnaki had a hand in creating. Some people believe that the Carins are a great ancestor of the Draco reptilians. This is not true. This is not true. So anybody is telling you that, they are in fact lying to you. And in fact, if you don't know, Draco reptilians and Carins have fought many times before. And although the Draco reptilian is a very powerful creature, they a lot of times have a lot of problems with Carins and fighting Carins. Why, you may ask? See, Carins, believe it or not, a lot of them are mystical creatures. A lot of them have powers. A lot of them use magical spells, magical spell binding. They have magical talismans on their bodies. They wear magical talismans that give them certain types of special abilities. A lot of these talismans have a spirit inside of them, and they're directly connected to that carrion being. Okay? You know, some of these bird-like ones, man, some of them are huge. Like, some of your Draco reptilians are not even that huge. Okay, depending on which type you're dealing with, because you might have some that might be that size. But you know, you have some of these bird types that they're gigantic. Okay, like, I'm serious. And you know the Carrions, they do have kings and queens. They do, and they are some of the most powerful types dealing with the Carrion beings as well. Of course, you know. The Carrions, on their home world, they do have pyramids there, believe it or not. Because some of our people actually live on some of these planets that the Carrions live on. Yeah, believe it or not. It's crazy, I know. The Carrions, you know, because there's so many different varieties, you know, like a hawk, you know, an eagle type, you know, a crow and stuff like this. They have their own tribes amongst their peoples. You know, like the crow types, your eagle types, you know, many different types, you know, your owl types, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, and and you know, the tribes, they link up and they deal with each other accordingly, and you know, they all work together for the common cause of the agreed upon or united cause of, you know, building up their world and building up their species. The Carrions have been attacked before by Dracos and others. Yes, this has happened before. And you've had certain Dracos that have killed some of their people also. You know? Like I say, the Dracos, they run around and create a lot of problems. They create a lot of... And they're not all bad, of course. But, you know, you have those that are, you know, bad, you know, you want to call it like out of balance or whatever, you know? And they run around and create problems. Now, these bird-like entities, they can fly at extremely high speeds. You know, believe it or not, their bones, you know, for a bird-like entity, their bones are actually quite strong. If Illyrian and a bird-like being would fight, I do believe the Illyrian would have the advantage on the ground fighting. Of course, they would have that advantage, but the Illyrian would lose his advantage if the bird-like being grabbed him and took him into the air. Yes, these beings, of course, are aerial beings. They can fly. They have wings. And if they take an opponent like a Draco, and if this Draco doesn't have wings, he's going to be at a massive disadvantage. Because you see, these Carrions, they always carry weapons on them. They always carry weapons on them. You can even see it on the screen here. A lot of them carry weapons with them, and these are photon plasma energy weapons. A lot of these weapons, they may look normal, like a normal staff or something, but this staff can transform and open up and probably deliver some serious damage to your body if they want to use it on you. Okay, alright, and they have very good eyesight. A lot of these bird types, they have extremely good eyesight, and they can see from very, very far distances. Okay, And you know, and that screeching, there's a certain type of screeching sound that they do with their mouths, with their beaks, and this frequency can have a whole horde of them show up in the nick of no time. Okay, all right. And these bird-like beings, they're always in groups. They're usually, you'll notice, you don't really find them by themselves. Okay, and the reason why is because even in the animal kingdom, you see that bird-like beings, they're usually accompanied by others. Why? It's because birds instinctually know that they are not the predator species when it's dealing with like animals in general. Things like crocodiles, lizards, and stuff like that. These are predators. Your Komodo dragon and stuff like this. And these bird-like beings know that they can handle themselves in a fight. Believe me, they're not. Some of them have taken down reptilians on their own. But they know that on the ground, the reptilian would have a more advantage. But now, believe it or not, a reptilian, that has wings, versus a carrion that has wings, obviously, if they fought, you would think that the Draco would win. Well, here's the thing. See, a Draco, physically, they have a lot more muscle mass, usually. So, it's not to say that they can't fight in the air, because they can, but a bird-like being would have an advantage because he's more swift. He has more agility in the air. They're better at flying overall. They're better at flying, and they're way better at fighting in the air. They're way better at fighting in the air, and plus they have magic on their side. Where Dracos do know some curses and some spells and some magic. Yes, they do, absolutely. And they're very much astute and dangerous with it. And they know a lot of ancient sciences and practices. They know a lot, believe me. It's not to say that the Dracos by any means are unintelligent, but these beings, when it's dealing with spell casting and magic, okay, all right, they beat the Dracos hands down when it comes to that. Of course, physical power and physical strength, the Dracos are going to win. But when it comes to like things like aerial battle, when it comes to things to knowing the sciences and dealing with alchemy, dealing with certain types of forms of magical spell casting, your Carrions are going to win hands down. Like I just explained, like the Lyrians and them fighting on the ground, they'd be pretty even to a certain extent, but I would have to give it to the Lyrian. On average, it doesn't mean a Lyrian can't lose to one of them, because they can. Believe me, they can. But in the air though, these guys, they're extremely deadly. And then those talons that they got, if they dig into you, those talons are huge. They dig into you, you're going to be bleeding profusely and you're going to die. Because these bird-like beings, and then the thing is this, with the agility that they have, and that prowess. You've seen how these eagles be going down to those rivers and lakes and stuff like that, or the ocean around the ocean-like area, and you see that they're able to catch a fish right out of the water, right when a fish jumps up. They're easily able to grab them. Their vision and their sight is unbelievable. Okay, it's unbelievable. Okay, they can see a lot of things that most beings are not going to be able to see, because their vision is that astute. And then they have a connection, with nature that is crazy, people. They have a connection with nature, that goes beyond what a lot of people would understand. It definitely goes far beyond what the orcs could ever understand. The carrion beings, a lot of them like to live a certain way. Notice on the screen here, you see like some types of like platforms, or like living quarters, or like cities in the air and in the sky and stuff like that. You got floating cities. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's because they fly around and stuff like this. That's what I think. That's the reason why they like to have floating cities in the skies and near the clouds and stuff like this. And the stuff that they have on the ground, a lot of that stuff is airbound as well. They can go into the air. It can go into the sky. Yeah. And yes, do they like to eat like how regular birds like to eat? Yes, they do. They have that characteristic imprinted into their genetic as well. Yes, they do like to eat, bread and certain types of seeds and stuff like this, just like regular birds do. Yeah, just like regular birds do. You even have some that look like pigeons and stuff like this. You know? Yeah. Yeah. You know, do they know who the blue avians are? Yes, they do. Do they come in contact with one another every once in a great while? Yes, they do. The female types. A lot of them, you know, a lot of the female types are, you know, you would notice that, like, the male types usually are at the forefront, and like the females would be like more to the farther reaching sides of their societies. And the reason why is because among their people they feel that the females need to be protected, and I understand why. You know, you have predators out there, of course. You have predator species that are out there that would love to attack one. So, you know, and of course, you know, they're of course they have matriarchy and patriarchy in their systems as well. They have both, and they work together to make a united whole. You know, and you have a lot of their, you know, a lot of their like a lot of their eagle types, like bald eagle types and other eagle types. A lot of those are mostly, a lot of them are warrior types. Okay, they carry swords on them, shields, you know, and they do battle with other species. I did hear a story about how you had some Arcturians that ran into some of these bird-like beings, and there was a great battle near what was it, that constellation? The Taurus constellation, I believe it is. You had this great battle with the Arcturians and these carrion beings, and the Carins mopped the floor with these with these Arcturians, man. The Arcturians, they had to flee. They had to flee because these bird-like beings were giving them some serious. They were giving them a run for their money. They were giving them a run for their money, and yeah, the Arcturians. I believe the Arcturians and these bird-like beings don't get along. I know for a fact they don't get along, but you know. Yeah. Just a fun fact to know, you know. And a lot of these eagle-like ones went over there and fought them for whatever reason. Maybe the Arcturians had like a trading deal that went wrong, or maybe they wanted to take over the planet near the Orion star constellation. Who knows? But you do have a lot of these bird-like beings here on our planet walking around in the fourth dimension. So when the dimensions merge, people, don't be surprised when you see a bird-like being walking down the street. Don't be surprised. All right, because a lot of them are here. Okay, a lot of them are actually here. They're minding their own business and doing their own thing. But when the time comes, you're gonna see. All right. I got other videos to make it stuff like this. And yes, they have lush meadows. You know, they have a lot of ponds, rivers, oceans, lakes on their planets. You know, they have a lot of, believe it or not, they have a lot of like bird cages and stuff that they sleep in. You know. Like, believe it or not, it's not like they like to be, you know, caged up or nothing, but it's kind of comical in a way. You know how you have like a parrot? Oh yeah, you got some that are like parakeets and stuff like that, like a parrot. You know, they sound just like them, but they're able to talk though. A parrot is able to talk, but not on the level that a person could talk on. You know, like they can actually make full sentences and stuff like this. But like a parakeet, you have different ones that look like parakeets and stuff like this, and you know. Believe it or not, this is actually quite comical. Among the carrion beings, the parakeets are actually supposed to be comedians. Oh man, that's crazy. But they like to live in like huge, like their homes. A lot of their homes look like giant cages, and they have their beds in there. They have their food in there, their water. It's crazy. You know, they like to swing around from different like sectors, and they have like these spheres that are in their world. And they have these spheres where they get into the spheres and they sit down in there, and the spheres, yo man, it's crazy. Those spheres look a lot like, you know, the Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z. You know those Saiyan space pods? The space pods look identical to that. It's crazy, man. That's what I'm telling you, man. These ideas that these people be getting, man, they be going they be taking ayahuasca, man. I know they taking ayahuasca, man. I know they taking ayahuasca. Some of these ideas they be coming up with, man. And they have landing pods. They have landing stations too, where the pods land into the ground and stuff like this. It's crazy. Of course, you know, you have as well, you know, there was even a time when the Dracos were giving the Lyrians a lot of problems, and they eventually ran into the Carins, and believe it or not, you know, your Dracos, they teamed up with certain types of species, like ones that look like apes and stuff like this, and other types. They teamed up with other species because they wanted to try to create a problem for the carrion beings. And what happened is that the Carins got caught off guard, and the reptilians killed some of the carrion beings. And then you had then the Carrions, the other groups of Carrions found out about it. They ran into the Lyrians, and the Lyrians told them that they were having problems with the Dracos as well. So they teamed up against the Dracos, and they literally beat the Dracos into submission, and the Dracos had to run off the planet. There'd be so many different wars and little fights that be going on in different places. You definitely can't keep up with all those fights. Definitely can't keep up with all of them, because you have other beings that want to take over for malicious intentions. And they also have precious stones and stuff like that on their planet. Precious stones that are not supposed to be touched by just any hands. You have precious stones on their planet that power their planet and power up their cities and stuff like this. And if these stones fall into the wrong hands, it can shut down their entire systems. Yeah, they have special stones on these planets. I forgot what these stones are called, though. And I believe that the medallions that they have are connected to these special stones, too. Those medallions that they wear. Yeah. Like, you see this one right here. He has a medallion. See this one right here? He has a medallion near his belt area. The other one over there on the other side has a medallion as well. And I believe that these medallions, these stones, were cut out of some of those special giant stones that they have on the planet. Now, these giant stones are they sit on like some kind of like some kind of mechanical contraption, and the stones power up a lot of their vehicles and technologies and stuff like this. It's crazy. And these stones, they are very much beautiful. They come in different colors. They're shaped a certain way, and these stones they're humming at certain frequencies, and if you touch the stone, it'll zap you. You need to be able to grab the stone a certain way. You need to be able to grab a certain stone with certain types of technologies, or you can use telekinesis to move the stone. And yes, these bird beings do have telekinesis. Yeah, they do. And they have many different types of abilities also, depending on the species, the bloodline, and which types you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You have many different types of bird types, and yes, they do possess a pineal gland or pineal gland or third eye. Yeah, they do. They do possess this. Many beings, most beings possess a pineal gland. People, most beings do possess it, but when it's active, when they're born and stuff like this, the abilities and stuff that they have vary depending on what species they are, and who they are and whatnot. Their female types are very beautiful. They're very beautiful. They have a lot of different types of feather types to them, as you can see, and when you're dealing with a species that is like airbound, like them, when you go to their cities and stuff like this, they have guards at the front gate and stuff like this. You're not going to just be able to get in just because you want to. You have to have actually a good reason for showing up. Depending on who you are, they might be able to let you in, And, a lot of Carrions, unfortunately, a lot of them, not all of them, you have a lot of them that have this attitude to where they look down on other species. And it's not because they want to harm anyone or make anyone feel bad, but they look down on other species for whatever reason. I do not understand that. Um, you know, some Carrions feel that they should be the ones that are in power and in the galaxies. You know, they some Carrions feel this way. It's not all of them that feel like this. You know, definitely not. The mass majority of them are peaceful, loving beings. But you do have some of them. You know, like I said, in all species, you're gonna find good and bad. You know, that's just what it comes with. And yes, you do have some Carrions. You do have some, believe it or not, you do have some Carrions that would definitely want to join Archons for trade or to create problems in other sectors of reality and stuff like that. You do have some Carrions that are malicious and violent. It's not, believe me, it is not the majority. Believe me, most of them are all peaceful. But you do have some that have branched off and they behave like an Archon. Believe it or not, and I know it sounds crazy. All right, because that's the last thing you would expect from these beings, and you won't get that from many of them. Most of them are loving, peaceful beings, but like I said before, you always have the negative side to a peaceful species. You always have, like the Anunnaki, the mass majority of them are peaceful and loving beings, but you do have some that are negative, and this is what this is what we're talking about. All right, and their wings are huge and very powerful wings. And you know, their wingspan, it's like their wings. If you looked at, like, okay, you see a yellow school bus, right? And a Carrion was standing, like a Carrion was standing at the front of the bus, to the side of the bus. Their wingspan almost takes up the entire bus. That's how huge and powerful their wings are. And if they get up and they start just flapping their wings at you, it'll literally send you flying. It will literally, that's how strong their wings are. Their wingspan is crazy. I mean, some of their hawk types, man, like these hawks, man, their wings look, man, their wings are huge. And their wings are very powerful. And it's going to take a lot of fucking difficulty and pressure for, like, a being to, like, break their wings and stuff like that. That's usually that don't happen unless they fall to the ground real hard and they mess up their wings like that. You know, they mess up their wings and stuff like that real bad, or they get injured and stuff like that. Can they heal? Yeah, they can heal. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you do have some healing types among them, like some of their owls and stuff like this. Their owl types are healing types as well. You know, yeah, you know, and you know, like the owl types, they can see in the dark. You know, like if you saw an owl type, you know, depending on which type it is, and you saw that thing walking up to you at night, you would think it's some kind of demon or something, because his eyes are glowing in the dark. You know, but he don't mean no harm or nothing. You know, but. And yeah, they're owls, believe it or not. They're like librarians, you know. Believe it or not, they're like the librarians, you know. They keep all of their ancient traditions intact. They're like in the corridors inside underground, and their palaces and kingdoms and chambers. Like, they take care of most of the books, most of the like the ancient traditions, the ancient tablets, the information on the stones that they use. You know, the ancient technologies, blueprints, and stuff like this. They take care of the mass majority of that information underground. You know, in these caverns, and underground tunneling systems underground underneath their palaces and kingdoms and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you know, they're like the and like I said, some of these eagle types are like in the crow types. They're like the guards for underground as well. And then you have the owls that are inside, making sure that all of their ancient information is up to date and it's being well preserved and taken care of. And if they ever obtain new information, they put it into their libraries. They give it to the owl types, and they take care of it in the libraries and stuff like this. Let's see now. You know, yeah, you know, you know, it's actually kind of funny. You know, it's you'll notice with certain types that they are into certain different types of studies and stuff like this. Um, you know, of course, you have some owl types that are also hunters as well. They're hunters as well. Um, what are they hunting for? You know, they're hunting for food and stuff like this. They may be scavenging. It depends on what exactly that they're looking for. They may be hunting for like different types of like technologies and stuff like this that were taken off their home world, because you had certain species that went to their home worlds. Um, I believe these were like what you would call you would refer to these as your what do you call them? Like your grays and stuff like this. Your grays, I believe, uh, your grays actually went to their home world and tried to rob them. They tried to rob them of certain types of technologies because they wanted to use it for whatever gain they thought they can get out of it. These grays are constantly looking for like a way to get a soul because they want a soul. They're very angry about the fact that they don't have a soul and whatnot. You know, whatever. You know, it is what it is. Oh yeah, and talking about those high places that they like to live in, some like to live in mountainous areas, and a lot of them also, their bird cages are on top of like huge trees on their planet. They have big ass giant bird cages that a lot of them live in, and they live in these giant bird cages on top of giant trees on their planet. And some of them, you know, you'll see a lot of them on the trees, of course, because they're bird-like. And it's just certain things that they like to do. And they do have, they do have I believe they do have a monetary system on their planet. I don't know what they trade to get things from, but mostly everything is free for the most part on their planet. But there's certain things that you need to use some type of monetary system to gain certain access to certain things that are very important on their planet. And this is about carrion beings. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this was informative. And of course they have a lot of plasma weapons as well. They have plasma staffs, plasma spears. They have ray guns and plasma guns. Yes, they do. They do have these on their planet, and they do have a lot of giant portals on their planet. They have Stargate portals on their planet. Yes, they do. And they do have an arena on their planet where they do fight things out. They do have an arena on their planet where they fight things out. If there's a dispute and these two they can't stand each other and they gotta fight this out, they'll fight it out. Yeah, I'm dead serious. Okay, the bird-like beings, they are warriors first before anything. Even their females, they're warriors first before anything. Although they do not want their females fighting, because they understand that a female type, she has her own importance in dealing with the species. So a lot of the female types simply choose not to get involved in all that. They let the males handle that. But the female types, they're very greatly well respected amongst their people. You will see carvings of their female types being honored and in many different types of ways. You'll see the males making an effort to catch the eye of another female. But that's all in nature. But you'll see a lot of this going on in their world because of the fact that their females are greatly respected, and and the males are also greatly respected because the males are they're running around trying to build up the planet and doing so much that the females, obviously, they take that into account. They have great respect for one another. There is a mutual relationship amongst them. It's not like like the Pleiadians. The male Pleiadians. Many people have said that the male Pleiadians have this issue with their females, and they don't treat their females very well in many circumstances and stuff like that. It's not like that with the Carins. Well, not all species behave the same way, I guess, whatever the case may be. And some people actually gone as far as to say that the Pleiadian men have killed off most of their own women out of, I have no idea, out of some kind of anger or something. I don't know. Some people have said this. I don't know how true that is. Okay, I have no idea how true that is. Some people have said that Pleiadian men have killed off the mass majority of their women. I don't know how true that is. I really don't believe that that's a fact. But hey, who knows, right? Who knows? I have no idea. I doubt it. I really doubt it. That would be a very stupid idea. Yeah. You know. Also, it is believed amongst their people that there's certain types of like feathers on their planet as well that were left by ancient godlike bird-like extraterrestrials that were on their planet a long time ago, that are supposed to be the ancestors of a lot of these beings, that these carrion beings. And it is believed that these ancient feathers, like you have some that look like gold, silver, platinum. You have some that look like they're the color of like a ruby and stuff like the sapphire and all this. You have these certain types of feathers that have like an aura field around them, and they're supposed to be extremely powerful and deadly. And these feathers are supposed to be in connection with these giant stones, and these feathers are supposed to be mythical in some type of way. They're supposed to have some type of like ancient power energy to them that also help power up the planet as well. And they're supposed to, and also supposedly if you make a wish on them, the wish can come true or whatever. But you have to do like some type of ritual for this particular leaf. And the leaf, supposedly this not, it's not a leaf. What am I saying? It's a feather. And supposedly this feather is supposed to have some type of ancient consciousness attached to it, and it's supposed to have this ancient consciousness that's attached to it by this god-like, bird-like entity. You understand? And I believe that this ancient bird-like entity is supposed to be a phoenix. And believe it or not. Yes, the phoenix energy comes from our people. Yes. But we're talking about something else. We're talking about like, because people don't understand this, a phoenix is supposed to be it's supposed to be like a bird and like a dragon at the same time. If I have that misunderstood, it's supposed to die and rebirth. Well, on their planet, the Carins, they're supposed to have a bird that's similar to like a phoenix or whatnot. And it left, and I don't know exactly what happened. It might not be a phoenix. Who knows? But from what my understanding, it's supposed to be some type of phoenix-like bird. And before it vanished or disappeared or whatever the hell that happened, it left behind certain ancient feathers behind. And it is said that when all these feathers are found and they all come together, this ancient godlike bird-like entity that is supposed to be a plasma being is supposed to come back and reestablish the golden age for these beings. This is my understanding of what's going on their world. So I could be wrong. I don't know everything, but this is my understanding of it. Yeah, it's bananas. But the being, it might not even be a phoenix. It might be some other type of bird. You know, it's supposed to be some spiritual type of like bird-like, god-like entity. And it's supposed to, you know, these feathers are supposed to be connected to it. The consciousness of this being is supposed to be connected to those feathers. You know, those feathers can actually speak, and they float in midair, and it's got like an aura energy coming off of it. Looks like fire or some shit like that, and it's pretty crazy. So this is some information on the carrion beings. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Sirius Center Temple, and I'm out. I'll catch you guys a little bit later. We'll make a video on some other topics dealing with other subjects and stuff like this. And it won't take me long to upload those other videos and stuff like that. Well, we'll see. But yeah, I'll definitely make time to upload those other videos. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Sirius Center Temple, and I'm out. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you got any questions, put them in the comment section below. And, you know, okay. It's your boy Sirius. Sirius out.